Happy Ugadi, I think, to everyone. And it's the start also of the Navratras. All right, it's 5 o'clock and it's time to get started. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And today we're going to talk about a topic I wish I was good at. So I think there's going to be a lot for me to learn. So today we're going to talk about winning at the art of negotiation. We've got Rajesh Bhat with us, who's the founder and the CEO of Iron Lady. He was the real heroes of India at CNN, and he's been showcased by no other than Amitabh Bachchan himself. In this session, and why I picked this session is maybe it's a skill I feel I need to better myself. And I feel a lot of us sometimes we think when we are, and I was even telling Rajesh this when we are negotiating, we are like very comfortable with the Chandni Chowk ka sari wala or the sabji wala. But when it comes to other circumstances, we get very shy. But today we will learn what is the basics of negotiation and we'll focus on three specific situations. We've picked these situations because they're very, very common. The first one, of course, is asking for a promotion or a raise or negotiating your salary. Negotiating with children and family. This is something as women we always have to do as we wear so many hats. Business negotiations in which we are looking to close a deal or we're looking to close a purchase. And a little bit about Rajesh today. He's a six-time entrepreneur. Three of his six startups have gone to become number one in the industry. Head Held High, One Bridge, and now Iron Lady. Iron Lady runs high impact business leadership programs for women leaders based on the art of winning, B-HAG approach, and strength based excellent approach. Over the last 15 years, Iron Lady has supported many of the Fortune 100 companies in enabling their women leaders to reach the top. So, first of all, Rajesh, welcome to Sipping Thoughts. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sukirti. My pleasure to be here with all of you. I generally joke with people that I'm always surrounded by women, either at home or outside. So at home, I am surrounded by two of my amazing daughters, a sister, a mother-in-law, and a wife, right?
Wow.
So and wherever I go, I've been fortunate to be able to support some of the top women leaders in India and reaching there. So it's been my absolute pleasure and privilege to be able to support. And on this auspicious occasion of the festivities, I'm privileged to be able to spend some time with all of you here today and support in whatever way I can in accomplishing whatever negotiation that any of you may have as well today.
So I'm going to ask you first question. You didn't wear a sari for us. So are you also getting a little bit lazy in the COVID times? And why have you decided to do a lot of your programs in a sari?
So I think it is just the perception. It is just the mind set, isn't it? So one of the mindsets, I'll possibly share a slide to make my point, right? See, the mindset that people seem to have in the world is men are meant to be in boardrooms, men are meant to be CEOs, men are meant to be the super exciting leaders, whereas women are meant to be in the kitchens and wearing the traditional clothes. This is a mindset that is there. So what I have tried to do is to be able to be nudging everyone towards breaking that mindset, breaking that stereotype, saying that women need to be this and men need to be this, and so on. And then when I was wearing a sari as well, right? It was funny in the beginning, right? People used to ask me, why are you wearing a sari? I said, boss, it's up to me. I mean, I can wear a sari. A woman can lead a board and she can be a top CEO, and I can wear a sari. How does it matter? So the mindsets need to change, and the whole theory of what women should not, what men should do, starts from right from the birth, right? Men blue balloons for boys and then pink balloons for girls and so on and so forth. So I'm saying, as a society, can we take a challenge of breaking that stereotype and breaking that mindset that people have developed from perhaps decades and centuries, and can we enable women to reach the top faster? Is the one single-minded agenda that I've been focusing on, Sukirti.
And your single mandate agenda, your goal is to reach 1 million women. That's a really huge agenda. So tell us, what's holding women back? What have you
So that
seen?
so there are two things, right? It is not as if there's something is holding women back. There are two things that are against women. One, it is a centuries old almost culture, or the mindset or the way of life. Say centuries, it's been going on for centuries. It is not just years or even decades, right? For centuries, women have been confined to the household, and or the working in the kitchens and so on, right? For centuries together now, right? Now, slowly, it has been changing over the last 50 years, or maybe even 60, 70 years. Unfortunately, it is way too slow. Now, the mindset is that women were supposed to be in the kitchens, women were supposed to be doing some normal stuff like cooking well. And see, think about it, right? If you had a grandmother, I have a grandmother, right? What does your grandmother tell you if you're a woman? Your in laws are like gods in your life. Your husband, Bhagwan, your husband is a god. Never say anything bad. Never hurt your husband. Never hurt your in laws. घर तो वापस मत जाना कभी भी. Isn't it? Now this is a great. Then where did she learn that from? Her great grandmother she learned that. Never fight with your in-laws. Never say bad words to your husband. Husband is Bhagwan. In-laws are bigger Bhagwans. Now this is a mindset that women were raised in India. Even today, unfortunately, some places it still continues. So with that kind of a mindset, when women are told right from the beginning that you shouldn't negotiate for your rights and what you believe is true for yourself, obviously they will end up. Now, a lot of women, many of you here in this room are successful women. Now that itself is a big deal, because which means that most of you kind of re-engineered your own mindset to be able to go beyond the normal mindset that people kind of try to impose on yourself, right? So you already crossed so many boundaries, so many barriers. But at the same time, any of you are children, your first child was born, what did your grandmother tell you? Same thing. Your child is your only agenda for the rest of your life. Or second child, to pura khatam. You have two children. Your two children are the only agenda in your life for the rest of your life. Now that's why, unfortunately, what happens after the first birth of the child, a lot of women drop out of the workplace. Second childbirth, a lot of the women drop out of the workplace. Sukirti, I've seen you having children at I think at the age of 46 or something. That's what you mentioned.
47, yes.
47, right? Now you must have a different experience, but majority of the women, when they have the first child or the second child, they start experiencing, chalo yaar, this is my life. And then the entire society, starting from the mother to mother-in-law to husband to everybody else, starts saying your life is about this only. Then the conditioning is that women are born to rear women, bring up the children, and men are supposed to be in the boardrooms and winning the battles of the corporate world, the business world. And if this continues, then we will continue to be in the same space where there are 5% women at the boardrooms, only 5% of the businesses that are funded are run by women. These statistics will continue forever. So, and this is a centuries, and now slowly things are changing, but it's very painful. I'm saying one of the challenges I've taken is I have two daughters. One of them is about 12, and the other one is about two and a half. I'm saying that at least by the time they grow up, can we have a better society? Now, how do we do that? The way we'll do that is we are saying, if we can change the mindset of some of the top 100 CEOs, top global CEOs, and even some of the top women, if we enable 1 million women at least to reach the top, can we ensure that these women out there can then be the flag bearers of the new mindset that women can have everything. Women don't need to keep on balancing and compromising for what they deserve and what they believe they can get, and keep on winning and keep on winning. That's the agenda. That's the way that we are looking at it. So it is not the fault of the women that they are not taking the top. It is a question of how quickly can we break the mindsets, how quickly can we train the women to be able to stand up tall, and how quickly we can tell the idiotic men to have some sense in the mind about enabling other people as well.
Totally agree with you. And that's why we decided to have this session today, because a lot of it is also about negotiating and negotiating what you want out of life and negotiating those tough situations also. But before I move on and I hand the session to you, I want to ask you about, of course, Mr. Bachchan and meeting him. And, what was that like and why were you showcased by him?
So I think they showcased our work because they found that some of the work that we do is truly outstanding and truly one of the very unique and very powerful things that we do in India. And I had the privilege of spending almost 3 hours with Mr. Bachchan in the beginning, and then sometime being showcased and all that stuff. Uh, it was an eye opener for me in many ways because the moment it was almost 5 o'clock in the evening when I met him, and he was there in the studio from 9 o'clock in the morning, and then he was going on and on, and I heard in the studio that he would go on till almost 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the night. And at 5 o'clock in the 5 o'clock in the evening, he had the same energy, same passion, same rigor, and same wit about him that he would most of the people would have at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So energized and so humble, right? I had the privilege of dancing with him and teaching him a few steps and this and that and so on. And it was a privilege. It was also beautiful to be able to connect with Mr. Bachchan about the kind of thing that we're building and the kind of initiatives that we were doing as well. So it was really an amazing experience, and we were in fact privileged to be able to do that as well. Sukirti, thanks for asking.
No, absolutely. And now I turn the session to you. Let's get into learning about negotiating.
Absolutely great. So you want me to take everybody through the art of negotiation from now,
Yes,
Sukirti?
and we will be negotiating quite better after the session
All
is done.
right, all right, all right. Great, great, great. So as I start the session, my invitation to all of you is, as many of you can turn on your videos and then be participating completely in this session. I'll really encourage everybody to really participate fully, right? So fully be ready with your notebooks. Oh, Parul, I can see you, Parul, here. Hi, Parul. Good to see you here. All right, great. So what are we negotiating? What are we talking about? We are talking about negotiations, negotiation, negotiation. The first thing about negotiation is that it is a mindset. What is the mindset? A mindset of negotiation, very important. Most women I have observed are very good when it comes to negotiating for others. Suppose they need to negotiate for their children, right? They want to buy something for their children. They want to buy something which is of value for their children. They want to negotiate for their children with their spouse or with somebody else. They're very, very good. So they don't hesitate in asking for something, right? They want to buy your son wants to buy a piano, you will negotiate. Your daughter wants to go out and play and you believe in it, you will negotiate with your husband or your spouse or anybody else. You want to negotiate for your team, for example. Most women I observed negotiate very well. They'll go out and then start talking to people who matter and then negotiate with them as well. This is why I observed this, right? Most women, when it comes to negotiating for someone else, they are very good. They have no mindset problems. They have no challenges. They are shameless in asking for their teams. For example,
Don't say
your team
shameless
member.
if you are good
Yeah,
at it.
yeah. No, I'll tell you. So suppose your team member is fallen sick, right? And you need to give your team member a leave, and you need to ask your manager for it. Most women find it no problem. I said, yeah, I will stand for my team member, and I'll go and ask, and then ensure that my team member gets. And then you figure out a way of negotiating for it. Absolutely no problem. But when it comes to negotiating for yourself, right? When you have to ask for salary for yourself, when you have to ask for even a small gift for yourself, for example, right? Most women will have, if you are married, for example, right? You will say, "Gosh, my husband would give me a nice gift on a birthday." Now, they may have it in their heart, but they will never tell it out until almost 5 to 7 years, right? After marriage or after that. You should ideally thought about it yourself. Gifting is at least something that I wanted, or that I thought that you will understand it yourself. Or if they want to get a better salary in the workplace, or they want a better role for themselves, or they want a better project for themselves, or they want some space for themselves. I want a time for myself. I want to, relax today. I want me time. I want, let's say, for example, in their own home, I want to buy something for myself. Generally, they tend to step back. So the first thing that needs to really shift and change, and then really you need to go out of your this kind of a sense that I don't deserve it, or I don't need to negotiate, or I don't, don't think I should be negotiating, is the first question of the mindset itself. The mindset has to shift to say, no matter what happens, I'm going to stand for myself. Which is, remember, you are your best, most important person in the world. Yes or no? If you are happy, your children are going to be happier. Your friends are going to treat you better. You're going to bring more happiness around the lives of people around you. Your family is going to be happier. Your teams are going to be happier. If you first care for yourself so much so that you are willing to stand for yourself, you're willing to ask out there, irrespective of what your great grandmother told you, right? So, for example, my grandmother, I love my grandmother, and she's one of the most amazing human beings I know. But her advice to my sister was all wrong. Like I was telling you in the beginning also, right? Beta, don't ask, don't be so demanding of your husband, or don't go and start earning more than your husband. Your husband will feel inferior. I mean, this is generally the tendency of other people to say you should be always subservient to your husband or men around. This is normal advice that goes around for women. So now, if most of you already kind of broken through that barrier, great for you. If you're not, then my challenge to you is, you got to get out of that mindset completely. You almost have to untrain or unlearn the stupid and age-old and Stone Age principles and Stone Age philosophy that have been that you have been brainwashed into, right? So you got to get out of that first. So get out of that mindset. That's the first. I invite all of you. Can all of you type? What are some of these statements that you would have heard right from your childhood? What are some of the statements that you would have heard like this from your mother-in-law, your mother, your grandparents, or your anybody else? What are some of these statements? Your husband will be the breadwinner. Male breadwinner will be your husband, right? Women need to be good at excellent, good at household work. Beta, pehle to khana banana seekh lo, right? All the good dishes. Now, what if your husband finds out that you don't know how to make this nice dosa in the south, or maybe aloo paratha in the north, right? What if your husband finds out, right? Those days, people would perhaps divorce people for not making good nasta also, right? There are some stupid things like that. Don't be so aggressive. Very good. You better learn to balance. Absolutely, a girl should be stubborn. Do not be stubborn. You have to be almost like a rubber, right? Push, pull, everything. Everybody should pull. You should be nice, happy, smiling. Think about it. You are a woman. You are helpless. Tum to bechari ho, right? Tum to bechari ho. Only husband can protect you. And this is a very stupid and a idiotic thing to say, right? So if you start speaking loudly, I'll give one of the practical incidents, right? My great grandmother was one of the loudest people I've heard in my childhood. For first 10 years of my life, loudest means she would be screaming at the top of her voice about with everyone. I used to wonder, what is this? Everybody, every other person, every other woman I've seen is like mellow and nice. I realized that is because her husband died at a very young age. She had 10 children, and 5 of them died, and her husband also died when, by the time she was 28, her husband also died. So she had no other option but to stand up for herself and start screaming, because she was 28, beautiful, and half the men in the village were behind her. So she had to raise her voice and protect herself. So she developed a voice. Now, many of you, I'm sure, have developed that kind of a strong voice for yourself and maybe other people around you as well, right? Now, if people keep telling you, do not negotiate, do not stand up for yourself, do not kind of do this, do not do that, then generally what happens, you say, the moment you start standing up and negotiating for yourself, you will start feeling, something is not going nice in this, right? That's a mindset. So my challenge to all of is just break out of that mindset and And can I invite all of you, take almost like a pledge to say, I stand for myself, I stand up for myself, I shall negotiate for what I deserve. This is the my first pledge that I invite each one of you to take. What is the pledge? I stand up for myself and I shall negotiate for what I deserve. I shall get what I deserve. Now, this is the next mindset. What is the next mindset? You only get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. What does that mean? What is the meaning of that, right? I only get what I negotiate, not what I deserve. I get what I negotiate, not what I deserve. What does it mean? It means if you are in the impression that your world is fair with you, your boss is fair with you, or your in-laws are going to be fair with you, or somebody is going to be fair with you, you may be disappointed after many years of living with that belief. I shall get what I deserve. World should be fair with me. Your husband should be fair with you, or anybody should be fair with you. You may be mistaken. You may live in almost like a fool's paradise. It is not going to happen. Okay. So what is the belief here? The belief you need to live with is called, I get what I negotiate, not what I deserve. Right?
So can all of you repeat? People are also getting impatient. They want to get into the scenarios also.
Absolutely. So let's get to the scenario. So first scenario, what is the first scenario?
First scenario is, how do I get that salary or that raise that I want?
Okay. So let me share some immediate steps for you. Okay, you want to get that exciting salary, right? So tell me, why should somebody give you a better salary?
Because I'm good at my job, I've met my targets, I can perform better.
So how many of you believe that somebody should give you a better salary because of these reasons? So Sukrit, there are 3 reasons. Said you are good at your job, you meet your targets. Then what else? What is the third one, Sukirti?
I can give better performance and even better next year.
Got it. Okay. So you are better and you are meeting your targets. Is that a good enough reason for you to get a salary hike?
Okay. Samidhi asked, because I can add 2 times my value of my salary to the company.
2 times of your value to the company is not good enough. Okay, let me share some slides with you to begin with. Okay, if you start living with this kind of a thing, right? One thing that
I changed the way the company worked. I questioned the status quo, says Nisha.
Not good enough, Nisha. People will say, so what? There are so many people who are changing the status quo. There are so many people who are questioning the status quo. Why you? Okay, there are 4 factors you need to think about when you negotiate for salaries or anything in your life. 4 factors. What are the 4 factors?
Lata always says that men get better salaries than
women. Of course, men
get. Because they negotiate better, or is it because there's a bias towards them?
Both of that. It's a combination of both, right? 4 things you need to consider when you start negotiating for a better salary. What are the 4 things? First thing is, always keep the end in mind about the salary that you're looking for or the projects that you're looking for. Nobody, let's spend the next 5 to 7 minutes sharing specific things that you will do so that you can negotiate for better salaries. Specific things you will do. What are the things you will do? First thing is, keep the end in mind. Amitabh, so this is a normal mindset I told you earlier, right? I believe in equality, so people should be fair and they should pay equal salaries. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Why? The world is unfair. Get used to it. The world is unfair. You get used to it. You start negotiating and standing for yourself. Start learning the principles and implementing it. You are likely to get a better hike or better raise. If you keep saying, I should get what I deserve, I should actually, the world should be equal, not going to happen. All right. So 4 factors. What are 4 things? First, keep the end in mind. Second, understand the people who are involved. Third, jot down the steps of negotiation. Fourth, understand the tactics that are involved in the negotiation process. If you do these 4 things very well, then you can negotiate either for the salaries or with your family, or or on the street with the vendors. What does the end in mind mean? End in mind means, what are the three things? One, desired result. For example, how many of you looking for 100% hike? Anybody looking for 100% hike here? You're looking for 100% hike, 50% hike, 60% hike. Now, by the way, based on the market standards, I can assure you, many of you deserve 100% hike based on the market standards. Why am I saying so? A lot of the women I've interacted with are earning only 50% of the salaries that are being given to men. So you need 100% hike, even to reach equality, even to reach. Latha is saying 99%. Latha 99%. Why not 100%? Okay, so now remember that if you start negotiating at 100%, 120%, 140%, you are at least there is a chance that you can start looking at it and start negotiating, right? So start with the end in mind. Second, what is the possible
Let's
best
go
alternative?
back to Rajesh, because this is a tough question. What should be
Yes.
the end? When you're saying that, listen, I'm negotiating for a salary and I know that my market worth should be 100% more. But yet I'm still going in and negotiating a 10% raise or a 15% raise.
You should start your negotiation with almost 150%. Start with 150%. Now, you may be saying, oh my God, am I asking too much? Am I too aggressive? But if you start with, I deserve 100%, so I need to start with 100%, then you are playing not a big enough game. Now, you may not be confident about asking 150%. So that's why I'm asking you, what is the next best offer? Now, for example, many people, this is a appraisal season. Many people have already been have not got the salary that they deserve or the price they want. What do? What is the best offer? The best alternative is ask for an extraordinarily challenging project. Find a great project immediately. That's the next best offer. Means what? Okay, no, you are not going to give me the salary that I want. Can I at least get a project where I can get a double promotion in 6 months' time? This is the next best option. Think about it hard. See, now, if you keep saying, oh my God, I'm not going to get a salary like this, it's not going to work. So you got to start saying, okay, what is the next best? For example, not 100%, okay, 30% plus the dream project which is visible to the top CEO in the company. That's a possibility, right?
Yeah, no, but I will ask this question because when you're doing salary, there's really very little room for negotiation because, most companies have an appraisal process, they have bands, and they say, okay, this is what it is. And you are appraised at 4, and you got, our band was 6 to 8% for that. So I'm playing the devil's advocate because this is typically how most companies work.
So absolutely. Now, this is exactly what I'm saying. See, unless you start pitching, I'll give a practical example. One of the people that I was supporting, she said, I cannot ask for XYZ raise because normally the HR has put a cap. Right? HR has put a cap, there's a policy, there is this, there is that, and so on and so forth, right? Now, if you don't believe that you can somehow break the system or break the paradigm, then you will never ask. Now, this goes back to my earlier point about you get what you negotiate and believe in. First, do you have the guts to go and ask, I need 150%? Do you have and if you don't have it, then you need to develop it. How do you develop it? Now, maybe your manager is the wrong person to ask. That brings me to the second point. What is the second point? The second point is the people you're negotiating with. Learn deeply about the people you're negotiating with. If you're clear about this, what is the no regret offer? What is the best alternative? What is the desired result? Desired result is 100%. So you can't start with 100% if your desired result itself is XYZ, 100%, right? So, next, what are the people? Who are the people involved? If you keep negotiating always with your manager, you're doomed. Why? If you speak to only your manager doesn't even have the mandate or the capability to give you 100% hike. So who do you negotiate with? You negotiate with, let's say, 2 levels higher than your manager. Start developing the skills and the capabilities to start negotiating 2 levels higher apart from your manager as well. Now, that is where the ego of your manager comes into the picture. Your manager will get upset. How dare you negotiate with my boss? How dare you reach out to me? How dare you bypass my authority? Emotions of the other person's, intention of the other person. Now, some bosses may have good intent, some bosses may not have good intent. Then what do? You start managing each one of these items. Means you need to manage the ego of your boss, emotions of your boss, ego of your boss's boss, and boss's boss sometime. Or if you don't have, only if you, let's say, if you have access to your boss's boss, at least start from there. So what is the intention of your bosses? What are they looking for? For example, most people negotiate based on what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a big hike. I'm working hard. Doesn't matter in the company. What matters in the company is what are they looking for? What do they want? What are they, what are they building? What are the kind of services they have? What are the customers saying? What are the projects they are going after? This is what is really important. Now, many of you are reading saying, it should be equal. Of course, it should be equal. Men and women should get equal salaries. The challenge is we have to make it happen. Right now, it's not happening. And, it is not, and the egos of people, the crooked intentions of people, or the politics that is there in the system is real. We better accept it and learn to deal with it rather than keep on sulking about it. If you sulk more about it, you're going to suffer. Stop sulking, start acting, start taking action. Because if you sulk, you will suffer. So you take charge of the situation and say, I'm going to make it correct in my department. For me, I'm going to make it right. So if you start taking action like that, you will start winning. If you become a sitting duck, then you will die getting shot by other people who are playing politics with your life. Got it, everyone? Politics is real. Bias is real. So let's deal with it. And let us spread the word and figure out as much as possible we can really deal with it. So Vandana, these are all real challenges, right? That's what I'm saying. Learn to deal with the ego of your manager. Learn to deal with it means what? I'm not saying you should take panga with your manager. I'm saying how can you manage the ego? How can you play with the ego and emotions? How can you deal with it very powerfully? It is by the way, Monisha, it's very easy to be manage egos of people who are highly egoistic people. Very easy. Okay, it's easier than most people think it is. Okay, people who don't have too much of ego and who have high self-esteem are very not easy to manage them. Okay, they are very strong. So it's easier to manage people with huge egos, bloated egos. Very easy. Of course, no manager. Monisha, it is not about you doing what they like. If you keep doing what your manager likes, you are actually going to suffer. Do not always do what your manager likes. Means what? Standing up for yourself, asking for a raise in front of a manager. No manager likes people come back and saying, okay, I want a 100% hike, 200% hike. No manager likes it. Do not become a yes, sir, no problem, sir. No. Ask and do what you want. At the same time, manage the ego. So the both of them like a chess game. Understand the emotions, understand the ego, deal with it powerfully, and stand for yourself and keep negotiating, keep building your brand in front of your manager's manager as well. If you are dependent on only one person for your promotion, hike, and growth, you are gone. Because that one person can change. I have seen many cases where suddenly the manager changes. Suddenly the manager becomes very timid. Then your manager is not standing up for yourself. Then you're gone. So learn to negotiate. Through the systems. Have enough brand up there with the mentors and then sponsors as well. Got it, everyone? So people, that's the second key factor of managing and then dealing with the growth in the organization. The third thing is always understand the various steps that are involved in the negotiation process. Empathize with people. No, it is not just empathy. It is also called tactical empathy. Tactical empathy means you don't need to start crying with them as much as understand what they're going through, why are they doing what they're doing, and then get them on your side through collaborations. For example, understand your boss's perspective. People who are 2 to 3 levels higher than you, understand their perspectives, collaborate with them. Third, influence through requests. Influence through pitches and respect means what? Have a point of view where you can add value in the next year. See, most people negotiate based on last year. People who negotiate based on last year will fail. Okay. The fourth step is to ensure you make offers and counter offers close with the best offer. Whether this is negotiated for the salary or negotiation for anything else in the bazaar or with your children or with your family, same principle. What are the five steps? Step one, empathize, build tactical empathy. Second, collaborate with the person you're negotiating with. For example, the person says, "Oh, 100% is too difficult, too challenging." You can say, "Now, what is your counter offer? Can we think about it? Do you want to give 100%? Because you believe that that I've worked." Then the moment your negotiator says, the person you're negotiating with you says, "Yeah, I think that you are a good person and you deserve that much." Then you have the other person on your side. You can then say, "Can we do the best possible in this situation?" That if you say that, then at least there is a sensible way of collaborating instead of arguing. Generally, negotiation is not same as just arguing for something. Okay, so start negotiating, collaborating. Third one is influence through pitches and requests. Fourth one is offering whatever offer, counter offer, and then close the best offer. Lata, how to manage the boss is a very vast and very detailed topic. I'm not going to go into that right now because it's a very, very challenging topic. It's not a simple or easy topic that can be covered in the next 5 minutes.
But let me ask you a question, Rajesh. One of the most
Yes,
difficult part is always, and I think freelancers also have this, is knowing actually what you're worth. Because every company, every role, you don't have access to all of that data where you know that, listen, this is what my worth is, unless you go out. And a lot of people say, okay, go out into the job market and you figure out what your worth is.
absolutely, completely. So, for example, okay, there is a simple thumb rule. There is a simple thumb rule to find out what is your market salary. For example, if you're a technology person, right, you're in a niche domain, right, your salary is minimum 2.5 times of the years of experience. For example, if you have 10 years of experience, 25 lakh rupees minimum is the salary. If you have 20 years of experience, then a minimum 50 lakh rupees per year is just minimum salary. Minimum I'm talking about. Now that increases based on the niche, the kind of companies you have worked for, and the kind of have you become indispensable in the market or in the company. If you're indispensable, you can easily add a factor of 1.5 on top of, let's say, 50 lakhs. So if you have 20 years of experience, 50 lakhs into 1.5, minimum 75 lakhs could be your salary per year. Now you need to think through this properly based on the niche, based on the specialization. This increase. For example, if you're in HR, then generally the salary comes down a little bit, right? In the industry. If you're in marketing, the salary goes up. If you're in operation, then the salary comes down a little bit. These are all well documented and well available on the internet. So just do a little bit of study, and you'll get the sense of the kind of salaries people pay and the market salaries that are available as well. Yeah. Okay. Now, how to convince? So, Amita, I've already given you some techniques. How empathize, for example. Okay. Pitch based on the future, not on the past. For example, what is the top project that you can take on? What is the top accomplishment that is really important for the company for the next year? Start researching that, start understanding that, start pitching based on that rather than talk about the past. Nobody gives you a hike just because of past accomplishments. The hike and the promotion and the growth is always about the future and the future and the future, not about the past. Okay? Many people live in this illusion that if I've done great work in the last year, I should have promotion. No, that is not the correct assumption. Okay? All right. So, everybody clear? So, I'll give you some more quick techniques. Okay? What are the last part? Be on the other side, or at least act as if you're on the other side. Do not accept anything that anybody says. Now, some of them are and have extreme patience and extreme offers, extreme options. For example, suppose you go and want to negotiate with the boss. I'll give you a quick technique, right? What is the extreme opportunity or extreme loss that can happen in the situation? So what is the extreme opportunity? For example, if your boss says, if you go and tell the boss, we have a possibility of getting, let's say, increasing the revenue by 30% or 40% or 100% next 1 year. Whereas there is also a possibility of the revenue going down by 40%. These are two extreme situations that are possible. Start understanding What are the possibilities in both these situations, and then attack using that, and then negotiate using that. Got it? Or that these are some of the techniques and tips you can use. Now, in as a principle and as a step itself, if you start using these principles, you start kind of really getting the hang of how to negotiate. So let us do a quick mock. How anybody here, you think you are very good at negotiating and you want to demonstrate a powerful pitch for negotiating with your boss for a salary?
Please raise your hand. I will unmute you. Or please let me know. I will unmute you. Any takers?
So remember what we did, what we said. Be willing to be shameless. Be willing to stand up. Be willing to stand out. This is the first step. No takers? Sukirti?
No takers.
No, Shelly. So Shelly has raised her hand. So
what is the question again?
So the
Anybody want
question
to
is,
do a mock with Rajesh on how to negotiate for salary?
yeah. So you have to imagine that I'm your boss. You
Okay,
need to.
Vandana would like to try. Great. Vandana.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. One of you.
I'm going to unmute you, Vandana. 1 second.
Okay.
So imagine, Vandana, you have to imagine that I'm your boss and you are asking for a hike in the salary. Go ahead, Vandana.
Okay. I have 10 years of work experience, and so it is interview or I'm in the company and asking for hike.
Either one, whichever scenario you prefer.
Whatever you prefer. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay, so I have 10 years of work experience, and I have done machine learning course, and I expect the salary of 25 lakhs because this is something which is niche I have, and I deserve this much, and I can prove to be an asset for the organization. And like I have learned, and I have good experience in this.
So is that it, Vandana?
Sorry.
Is that all?
I have good experience, and I have worked with. I can prove to be an asset for the company, and like even in the previous organization where I was working, I did this much for the company, and
Right.
these degrees I have, and I can prove to be an asset, and
Right. Right. So Vandana, how many years of experience you have?
10 years.
Sorry, 10.
Yes.
And which domain?
So it is machine learning.
Machine learning. Okay, good. So okay, now Vandana, unfortunately, so first of all, very brave of you to raise your hand. It's great to see the way that you are really, really this is a beginning of the shameless pitch. Okay, beginning of the shameless pitch. You're willing to stand out. You're willing to stand up. Willing to get perhaps experience that everybody else is looking at you as somebody who's stupid, right? Willing to go that extra mile. That's extraordinary. So well done on that front. Brilliantly played, Vandana. Okay, now I'm going to make a reverse pitch to you. Okay, imagine that you are my interviewer and I will ask you for that exciting role. So what did I say? I said you have to always look at it from the other person's point of view. You have to always look at what the other person is looking for. What is in it for them? And the next year, how good you are does not matter. Always stand out as a different person compared to everybody else. So what do? You say, okay, this is the beginning of the process. So what I'm going to say is, Vandana, imagine you're the boss. I am Vandana now, and I'm pitching back to you, right? So Vandana, see, Vandana, I have been doing a bit of research about your company, and I realized that you have a great opportunity where there is a possibility for you. So which industry are you in, Vandana?
So basically, I'm in this consulting.
No, which industry are you in? Are you consulting companies? What kind of industry? Which industry?
Banking industry.
Banking. Got it. Okay, got it. Okay. So banking industry has gone through a dramatic shift in the last 6 months. Hmm? So on one side, there is a huge opportunity of increasing the kind of service that you're doing by almost 30% in the next 6 months alone, because of the shift towards the online banking, where some sectors have really increased. So we have an opportunity there. On the other hand, one of the biggest challenges the banking industry is facing is the challenges of scale,
Velocity.
yeah, sorry.
Velocity.
Yeah, just the two three challenges I identified. Okay, I have a slide on that. Okay, I'm not going to share that right now. So there's two three challenges where the bank can have a big loss that can happen as well. That's possibility. So my offer to you, Vandana, is based on the work of 10 years I've done in the technology and machine learning. I am offering the bank an opportunity to where I can contribute in the growth of the bank for about 40%. And if you allow me to contribute like that, I can assure you that when I come in with these three projects that I have in mind for your bank, that and the contribution that I can make towards those projects, the bank can ensure that the 40% can happen. While most other technology people focus on technology, machine learning, I am not a technology person alone. I am actually a business focused technology leader. Right? So if you allow me to contribute, I'd be happy to contribute in this kind of a growth for the organization of 40%, while wearing the hat of the technology and delivering on the existing technologies already. Now, this pitch, right? This the way I'm starting the pitch as well, right? If I had an opportunity, I would come with 3 slides which talk about the 3 exciting offers or 3 exciting projects that we can take on, which can take the bank towards the 40% and avoid the losses of 20% as well. And I'd also tell you why I am way better than most of the technology people. Got it, Vandana?
Yes.
Now, this is what I mean by negotiating from the other perspective, not your perspective. Think from the other side. Have empathy for the other side. Don't start talk. See, no matter how much I say, right? Most people that I've seen, they'll start saying, I am good, I am good, I am good, I am good, I am good. Now, what is the other person thinking? Oh, if she's saying she's so good, it means that she may not be that good. Right? Why is she selling so much? She's saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Generally, people who are not very good keep saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. So they will say, reject. If you sound like most normal people in the world, you will be rejected. Normal candidate. Normal means mediocre in the mind of the recruiter or even the boss, even your bosses. So you got to stand out as somebody who's really different, unique, and powerful. This is the principle here. If you do this well, guaranteed. I've been supporting thousands of them, right? So every day, every week, I hear somebody getting promotion, a growth, or a job based on this principle. You go ahead aggressively, you will get it. Is it clear, Vandana? Is it clear to everyone else? So now understand the point. Understand what is the best. What is the best for the other person? What is in it for them? And go with an irresistible offer. Irresistible offer, for example. I have one project I already thought about, and if you give me an opportunity, I would be definitely willing to take it on. Go with that energy, you can win. But mindset itself is very important. Most people I've seen, right, they are not trained to even start the conversation of negotiation itself. Why? They say, I should get what I deserve, not what I negotiate. Got it? So now let's come back to the sabji wala or your family. It is the same principle in the family side as also sabji wala. Extreme patience is required in asking and standing for what you want, and understand the other person's perspective, other people's perspective, other idea, what is the agenda they have, what is the intent they have, what are the emotions they're going through. Understand that first before even you start the process of negotiation. If you do this well, you will be successful. If you don't, then you are unlikely to get what you deserve. So now, Manisha, it is the same principle in the family business or any other business. Family business is more complicated. You know why? You have one family relation, the relation of a family Second is the relationship of business. When you mix them, it becomes very complicated. So you need to understand the emotions, ego, the challenges, the concerns of the other people much more, and negotiate hard so you can still get what you want.
So, Rajesh, I'll ask a question here, and I think this comes in a lot of people's mind. A lot of things that comes back to this is tradition. हमारे घर में ऐसा नहीं होता. There's no logic provided. How does one
Yes.
counter that?
So you make fun of the tradition nicely. Okay. So do not accept any tradition like this. If you keep accepting the tradition, हमारे घर में ऐसा ही होता है. So I'll give a practical example, right? When my wife and I got married, her first birthday, I told her that in our home, we bring the clothes to everybody at the same time. She almost had a heart attack. She said, you know what? I'm asking for a gift from my husband on my birthday. My husband says that, our home, everybody gets a dress at the same time. She first year, she sucked. And then second year onwards, she started making great fun of it. He said, oh, you are like Krishna Deva Raya's tradition you have of getting the dresses every day, everybody at the same time. This is like the age-old tradition. I don't know what kind of tradition is this. Then slowly, I was stupid, right? So slowly, it started going into my mind that I'm being very stupid in making such kind of a stupid tradition. So it went into my mind slowly that I should be much more sensitive and sensible in this situation, relationship, because she pretty much deserves all my love and all my care, being the most important person in my life, right? So now, unless she did that, and then unless we had a very mature conversation, I could perhaps would have not shifted as fast as I did immediately after the first year of marriage, right? But generally, what I've seen, it continues on the tradition. अरे यार हमारे घर में ऐसा ही होता है. We don't offer this, we don't offer that. So make some fun, have some fun with the tradition. Don't unnecessarily fight. At the same time, have fun with it. Resolve these things without even fighting. I call it winning without even fighting. That's a principle you need to use, right? So deal with it in a fun way, have some fun with it, make some fun of your people, and then say, yeah, tradition, ye to Maharaja ka tradition ho gaya. Right? So is your tradition to be, very harsh with your wife? What is this? So have some fun. At the same time, diffuse, get them to get your point of view as well. This is one principle, one method I have seen works brilliantly for women. Yep. Anything else? Any other questions, anyone?
So Monisha is asking, so basically one should speak up and hope to be met with a mature reaction. It takes time and patience, yes.
No,
Making
Monisha,
fun,
do not. Monisha, that is a wrong impression. If you expect a mature reaction, that is like saying, I should get what I negotiate. Do not expect a mature reaction in the beginning. Expect completely immature, stupid, egoistic reactions in the beginning. Okay? Be prepared for it. And at the same, this is what I said, right? What did I say? I said, manage the emotions, right? The intent, the emotions, the drama. This is normal. If you expect a mature reaction, you are mistaken. In the beginning, you will get a lot of crap. A lot of, oh, no, how dare you say that? You don't know, you don't respect our tradition here, all those things you get. So deal with it in a fun way. Diffuse the situation. Let them give them time to digest your standing up. In the beginning, when you stand up, they'll start going crazy. So step by step, get them used to you, the new you.
Okay. So Anita is asking how to negotiate with a mother-in-law if she wants exclusive time with her son as soon as he comes back from work.
So what do you want? So this is what I said, right? What is the end in mind? Understand the end in mind first. So if your mother-in-law wants exclusive time with her son, right as her son comes back, what do you want? Please get that clear. If you're clear about what you want, then you can negotiate with your mother-in-law and your husband about what you want, and then you can draw out the steps, ensure that outcome is reached very powerfully. Okay. So start understanding. For example, I want this. Then you write down the steps. What did I say? I said, write down the steps. What do you want? Build trust, empathize. You just discuss, collaborate with your mother-in-law and your husband. Say, this is what I think is the best for us. This is what I think is the best for you. Start negotiating step by step. Deal with the emotions. take charge of the situations, right? Then you will be able to win it over. It's possible. I've seen a lot of people do it very powerfully. But don't go the normal path. Normal path means what? I will either fight or don't talk at all. Normal paths won't work. Ego, then it becomes always so your ego versus other person's ego won't work. Yeah. Any other questions? Final questions. I think we're almost out of time.
Yeah, the third situation we talked about is when you're negotiating a business deal.
So now the principle of negotiations remain the same, right? What does the other person want? What do you want? What is in it for them? What is in it for you? And who are the people involved? What are the steps involved? What are they looking for? For example, when you negotiate a business deal, you got to make a list of things that you are looking for, things the other person is looking for. What is in it for you? What is in it for them? And then reach a conclusion, end in mind first. Reach a conclusion to say this is the end in mind. Then move towards that end in mind, which is hopefully a win-win for everybody.
A lot of people, again, now I've gotten very used to this work from home, and Vandana is also talking about this, how to negotiate continuing to work from home.
So you got to understand what's in it for them. Keep the other person's agenda in mind. What do they want? They are looking for better performance, perhaps better collaboration or better growth. What are they looking for? Start with the end in mind like that. Then you say, these are steps to reach there, right? Do not negotiate in the normal way. Normal way is what? Sir, I'm looking for a work from home. I want more time. No, that won't work. What will they get if you work from home? Understand that first. If you understand that first, then you can move towards the resolution.
So Mahima, you also had a question. I'm asking you to unmute if you'd like to ask it. So she's asking how to deal negotiator with the boss for performance review, key questions to ask when your boss thinks you haven't done exemplary.
Mahima, do not ask questions. My challenge is divide and negotiate. For example, if your boss says you're not done well, you first agree to that. He do the opposite of what boss expecting. Boss is expecting you that you will fight. No, I done well. You say, I did a terrible performance. First accept. Disarm your boss. Do the opposite and disarm your boss. Then what you do? You say, I had 5 areas. In 5 areas, 2 I have done terribly. 2 I have done brilliantly. My focus was XYZ. Why it was so? Because I'm more of a future-oriented person, not only the present-oriented person. So I'm preparing myself for attacking and winning big time next year. That's why I should get a promotion. So don't start negotiating and fighting unnecessarily. They will keep on fighting. Disarm them first. Segment the things properly. Understand which one did not work, which one worked, and then negotiate hard based on what has worked for you. What are the learnings and what are the big wins and big losses? Then where do you project the growth for the company? That way, if you negotiate, it will work for you.
Shelly, did you have a question? I'm asking you to unmute.
Yeah. I was just waiting for Mr. Rajesh to end. Yeah, I belong to education industry with 21 years of teaching experience, and I was appointed CBSE observer for this year board practical examination. My question to you is how to hammer out the deal with the management regarding the teachers' pay cut, because since April 2020 there is a 30% reduction in the salaries of the teacher, and we were promised that due to COVID, let it be like this only, because the teacher salary is dependent on only the tuition fee, and over a period of time after one academic year we'll try to figure it out. But now the new academic session has started and we are again getting the same salaries, and we have negotiated with the management, but it is, we didn't reach to any boundaries or anything. And my next question is, see, the teacher's job was 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We were getting 100% salaries, 7th pay commission and everything. And now we are working 18 hours a day, virtual mode, and so much of, we are overburdened rather. Okay, and we are the ones who are collecting the tuition fee from the children through online mode and all. And no one is looking at the teachers.
So Shali,
Yeah.
I can see you are deeply distressed with this situation, right?
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
see, when you are talking about the negotiation, we did negotiate with the management, but it is not reaching to any dead
Right.
end.
So my first suggestion to you is get out of the distress mode and get into the other person's mode. What are they looking for? What is the advantage for them, disadvantage for them? Manage their needs smartly, step by step, deal with them very powerfully, step by step. What are they looking for? Understand it, and then understand their weakness, understand their strengths, negotiate based on that.
See, here I want to add up one point that they are immensely happy with us. They are appreciating us that we are doing
That's
a wonderful job.
Shirley.
But then,
This this is very naive. You're being very naive in this situation, right? If you keep saying they're happy with us, what they say and what they mean are two different things. Just be cautious about it. This is the same principle I told you in the beginning, right? You get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. If you keep saying they are happy with us, then you are in trouble. Just learn to deal with the steps of negotiation for yourself. Whatever I discussed with you already, go to the video if required again and ensure that you start, the steps of negotiation in detail. Okay. All the best to you.
thank you so much.
Okay. So I
So
have the
as always,
last thing I have a proposition for all of you. Okay, with the permission of Sukirti, I have a short 3-day program that we have at Our Lady, which if you are interested, you can join. We have a program for 3 days. So this is starting coming Thursday, right? Thursday evening between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We have a program starting. If you want to know more about how you can grow, how you can fast track, Parul, I assume Parul and Samriti, both of
please
you I
put
saw
the
you.
link there. Yeah.
So you are there in the IRD community as well, right? Parul and Samriti?
Yes.
Great. So Parul and Samriti, you have anything you want to share about the experience of being in the IRD community?
So unfortunately, though, we have run out of time. So
You're not,
any last words, Rajesh,
you
that you
can,
would like to
yeah.
say?
Yeah, so I would invite all of you who really want to master the principles of winning, negotiating. If you're really keen, I've just pasted the link in the chat box here. If you're really keen, you can join on the sessions as well. Okay, so great. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, my key challenge to all of you is you have to master the principle. You have to really go and then stand for negotiating. Keep going, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Do not ever be under the impression that it is okay for you and life will be fair, people will be fair with you, and so on. Keep going after the negotiation, keep going after what you deserve and what you want instead of waiting for things to come back or waiting for people to be fair with you, right? And I'd be happy to support any of you further as well. Any of you join the 3-day masterclass, it's only 129 rupees. We will run this masterclass for 3 days. All right, Sukirti, thank you so much again for inviting me here and then giving me an opportunity to share with everybody here. I hope it was really useful to all of you, and I'll be keen to learn about what are the key insights and takeaways that any of you had as well.
I think my key insight, as always, you get what you negotiate. And that is very, very true. So I think as women, we need to learn that and we need to kind of get that negotiation is not a bad word, but it's something that we need to do if we really want to reach towards equality. So with that, I wish you all a very, very good night. And we will see you soon, all of you.
Thank you so much. Monisha, the 3-day masterclass link has been shared in the group. So all of you are clear, who are really keen, you can join the link is there in the group. So I can see 3-4 of them already from the IRD community. Parul, Samruddhi, who else is there? Vartika also mentioned she's from the IRD community. Great, guys. Great. Thank you so much, Sukirti. Thank you for the opportunity. Anybody who's really wanting to master these principles and reach the top faster, you're welcome to join Parul, Samruddhi, and Vartika, who are already a part of the community here. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Have a happy festivities.